first episode of the Drunken Shef. I'm Chad Shepherd. I'm going to show you my first attempt at a white bean chili with no recipe, no knowledge except for tasting. We have, right here, we have our large onion, 1 jalapeno, and if you see there, that's about 5 cloves of garlic. We got a pint of heavy whipping cream, some hot sausage from our friends at Wampler's. They're not really our friends, but I know the guy personally. Some Italian cheese, about 8 ounces, and a little bit of sour cream. Also tonight we're going to be using these beans right here. Some Canelli beans, some Great Northern beans, and that's it. Maybe some salt and pepper and sage, all sorts of other spices to come, but that's what it is. Sausage does not need oil. Sausage is so fatty that it's going to start to brown at a rapid pace regardless, and it will not stick to our non-stick pan. So we can see that the sausage, not the beef. We are doing sausage tonight because we can see that the sausage, not the beef. We are doing sausage tonight because white gravy's a little bland. We're not even cooking gravy. We're cooking chili. But we're going to cook our sausage until it's about halfway cooked through, and then we're going to saute our vegetables that are right behind you. Right here. Back to that. And that is going to get sauteed in with our sausage, and all that flavor is going to come out. But we're going to drain that fat out. We don't want the fat. We don't want the extra fat because it's going to make our chili look oily, and then it's going to set as a film that we don't want. Add our vegetables. You can see that our sausage is about half cooked. I'm going to pick you up and show you this. That's what half cooked looks like. Okay. When it's half cooked, we want to saute our vegetables and garlic. So it's all done into this beautiful, extremely gorgeous smell with a bit of brown. We're going to make sure that all of our vegetables get browned, and then we're going to go into our chili. Okay? I'm going to hand that over to her. So you just want to make sure you're cooking on high heat, and you want to make sure that everything is going into the sauce of the chili. So when we get ready to deglaze, we're going to use a little bit of white wine for some body and make sure that all of our juices on the bottom of this get used. We're not going to leave our fond on the bottom of the pan. So right here we can see that our food is starting to get colorful. However, our onions and garlic are still kind of white. Alright, you can see right here that our vegetables are still kind of white, but we want them to be a little bit darker, a little bit more golden brown, and then we're going to deglaze the pan with white wine. As I've told you before, we're letting our meat, peppers, and garlic mix drain right here on a bed of paper towels. You can see that. Our dirty pan here, and that's just a bunch of flavor that we're waiting to use. We're going to deglaze that with a bit of white wine and then add that into our chili. So, let me show you how to do that. It's $3. Just a little bit. You can see the alcohol start to cook off, but we're going to scrape the bottom of this pan as good as we can and also cook off the alcohol while we're here. Yes, this is going to make our white chili look a little weird, but it's going to add a lot of flavor. We're going to add our beans and our dairy. We're going to let this cook slowly for about an hour with that rich fond from the pan that we had with a little bit of white wine. And you saw the sausage, the peppers, 1 jalapeno, about 5 cloves of garlic. And here we're going to add the beans. These are just strained beans. Oh, they're dripping. Let's drop them in here. We got some great whites, 2 cans, and 1 can of light kidney beans. Never made that before. I do know that heavy whipping cream makes everything better. No shout out to anybody in particular. But we do need to make some sort of soupiness for our chili. So we're going to add our heavy cream. Pop that off. So go straight in with the beans and the fond. We're going to let our sausage and peppers rest for about 15 minutes. We're not going to add anything else outside of the cream, the cheese, and we have a little bit more sour cream, but that can go in at any time, honestly. This bag is about 2 cups. We're going to add about the entire bag. We're going to stir this in here. You see, we have way more cheese than we do anything else. We have some heavy whipping cream, we have some beans, and we need some other substance to this, right? This is just going to be way too thick. So we could add chicken stock, but that might challenge the integrity of our sausage additive. So I'm going to just add a little bit of milk. So we're going to add about 1.5 cups of milk. So a chef knows what a cup looks like. That's about a cup and a little more. So that's milk, 1%. That's just because that's what I had. And I can see that this is already thickening up to one thick, cheesy masterpiece. However, I need it to thin it out a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. Maybe a cup. Just to cut back with the heavy whipping cream that we just dumped in here. Maybe even 2 cups. That's just part of it. You're going to have to taste. You're going to have to play with your food and season it. You have to taste it to where you like it. Everything is not set to a T in life. You can change anything that you're doing. So I just added 1.5 cups of water. You can see right over here. And we're going to let this heat up for about 20 minutes. You can see it's bland. There's no pepper in here. Nothing. But we're going to make this delicious. Okay? Everybody, make sure to have a beer while you're cooking. That's where the heart is. So I just added 1.5 cups of water. You can see right over here. And we're going to let this heat up for about 20 minutes. You can see it's bland. There's no pepper in here. Nothing. But we're going to make this delicious. Okay? Everybody, make sure to have a beer while you're cooking. That's where the heart is. Okay, so we can see it's been about 15 minutes and we still see several bits of unmelted cheese. So we know that we have a good consistency almost. We might need some flour, but it's not quite the consistency of chili. So we're going to let everything stir and stew together for another probably 30 minutes to make sure what everything is happening in this pot is actually true to what's going on here. So we do have this. This should be good and drained, but we're going to give it extra time. We're going to mop down with a little bit of extra paper towels, push, and make sure you see that grease coming out. We don't want that grease, so we're going to push the grease out as much as we can. And that's just what we're doing here. We're making a nice, creamy, non-greasy white chili from scratch, even though we've never done it. But we're gonna do it. No problem. Alright, about 55 minutes into it, we see that it is starting to get thickened. You can see the top here, a little bit of cheese, but we have another ingredient that needs to be added. You see that orange bit in the left hand corner? It's starting to stick. Yeah, we want the sticky, but we want it to be all in one. So we're going to add our peppers and sausage. That's going in right now. So I'm going to put
the sausage and peppers in. That's a big dollop. This is all going to go in here. We see how much grease we've drained off. We want to get all of our little bits of food in there, but we don't want to drag the grease with it. So I'm going to take this out. Oh, it already shook out. Onto our plate. Right here. This is our plate. We're going to shake that in there. Now we're going to fold it. We're going to fold it into our delicious delectableness. But you see, we have a lot of peppers, vegetables, and onions. So what are we going to need? I think it's going to be a lot more water. Probably at least 2 more cups of water. At the very least. It's very thick. We have a very thick, you see how it films against, well, let's get the broth. See how it films? You see all this grease on the top. We didn't really want that, but it happened. It's not a ton of grease, but it happened. So we're going to add some extra water and some flour to just thicken up what we have here. So because we have our soup that's a little bit more thickened than it should be, and we still have cheese running through here, no big deal. We're going to add water and flour. So we're going to add 1 more cup of water to our white bean chili stew. You can see the cream comes out. And I like that. I'm going to add another ½ cup. I'm not going to show that to you directly, but we'll add it up all together. It's about 2½ cups so far. We're going to add 1 large dollop. This is a dollop in the Drunken Chef land. 1 dollop of sour cream. And once it's melted off of your spoon, it's completely melted off, we know that's what we wanted. And here in about 2 hours, we'll get back with you after we've tasted to our taste. Our taste is completely different from yours, and we will see where we're at with our white bean chili. So I'm going to show you what about 2 to 3 tablespoons looks like in an everyday grinder. This right here is a Trader Joe's grinder. It's about 3 tablespoons, maybe 2½. We also have the same thing, about the same, and we're going to put that into our chili. We're going to incorporate the flavors of sea salt, mustard seeds, black peppercorn, coriander, onion, garlic, paprika, and chili pepper into our white chili that we've never made before. However, we're in the South. We love black pepper. So in goes our black pepper. We have a lot of food in here. We're going to need a lot of black pepper. So there it is. We also have our everyday seasoning in everyday seasoning from Trader Joe's. We also, the Drunken Chef recommends oregano in everything with cheese. Everything needs fresh oregano, which we're going to have right here. Our fresh oregano. We're going to do about the same. 3 tablespoons is about 3 fingers of a pinch right here. See this? And I'm going to incorporate a little bit back, so my hands are big. If you have normal hands, 3 fingers is enough. If you have dainty hands, you're going to need 4, maybe even 6 fingers. But that's okay. Taste everything. We're going to taste this in about 30 minutes and see where we are. So, we're here at hour 3.5. That's not grease, that's just the shadow. So what we've come to is a little bit of everything. It needs about an hour to cook off and simmer off to become thickened out. We've used about 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and we can only contend that it tastes delicious. We're just going to let it cook for about 4 more hours, because that's what you do with a crock pot. So, that's it. That's the Drunken Chef. I made something. I delivered. I hope you enjoy it. Good night. Okay, so it's the next day, and our chili's been stewing for about 12 hours or so. Come take a look at it. It's all come together. Let's take a taste. Let's try it. Get a bit of everything. It's really good. Kind of reminds me of potato soup, but I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. About a tablespoon of each of these. Stir it up and it should be done.